and welcome back to the review realm. It's Sienna, and today we are going to be discussing This Is Spinal Tap because we are continuing our series of Throwback Tuesday, where I am watching and reviewing one of these movies each Tuesday on this list, which is considered the best 100 movies of all time. And this week it was This Is Spinal Tap, which is a mockumentary about the rock and roll industry that came out in 1984. But before we get to it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and turn that volume up to 11. This Is Spinal Tap. It follows a fictional British band called Spinal Tap, and it follows them on their US tour after they've had multiple albums, and they're sort of out of their heyday. They released their 16th album, doesn't really go well, people aren't really following Spinal Tap anymore, and it's them trying to survive this disaster of their US tour. And honestly, this film not only makes fun of the rock and roll industry, but also the music industry, and it is hilarious. Two of the leading people in this band, one is Nigel and one is David, and they've known each other since they were 8 years old, pretty young, and it's them sort of working out some tension as well, and their relationship and dynamic throughout this film is really funny. And David also has a controlling girlfriend, and she wants to get involved with Spinal Tap and sort of run the show. So all the band members are sort of having some conflicts here and there, and then they also have their manager, which honestly was the best part of this film for me. He was just hilarious, the things he was trying to do, solving problems, and then things go awful and he quits and all this stuff happens, and it's just funny to watch. And especially because it is a mockumentary, it feels like you're watching a documentary, and then they're trying to be serious, like they're saying stuff and you're like, okay, and then it leads into this joke and you're like, what? Especially they have like this running thing that all their drummers die, like one just explodes. There's been like 30 something people who have played for the band. This Spinal Tap, it's a disaster of a band and it's hilarious, but the music in this film, because yes, they are a rock and roll band, is hilarious, honestly, because you're like, wow, this is kind of a catchy beat, and then you're like, wait, what did they just say? So they have some pretty funny songs. Some of them are called Big Bottom, Hellhole. It's definitely enjoyable. I would say if you like rock and roll or the 80s, this is definitely a must watch. Now, obviously, I wasn't alive in the 80s, and I wasn't alive when rock and roll was at its height, so I couldn't tell you if it's necessarily accurate, but just from an outsider, a younger perspective, it definitely seems like what I would think of rock and roll in the 80s, and I was laughing throughout this movie just because it was kind of ridiculous, and that was the point, but also you could also see some little nuggets of truth throughout this whole film, especially within the modern day music industry. I would say this film definitely holds up. Now, I was born in the 2000s, so there's that, and I found it funny, so this film is still going strong, and it is actually coming back in the theaters for its 41st anniversary, which I'm sure a lot of people are gonna go see and have a fun time with that re-release. And I would recommend it if you are a fan of the music industry or even just humor. It is a mockumentary, but it does shed light on the music industry, which is hilarious, and you can definitely see parallels with our world today. But overall, I thought Spinal Tap was pretty funny. It had some good jokes, especially with the band, and Nigel and David, they did a great job. Alright, so I just did the random number generator, and the next movie that I am going to be reviewing is The Prestige, that came out in 2006 and is directed by Christopher Nolan. Now, I have already seen this movie, but I'll rewatch it and give you my thoughts next week, so stay tuned and have a great day. Bye!